During the fall, you might see some beautiful chrysanthemums or mums. Now, not all of them will come back in the garden. Many of them are treated with what we call a growth regulator. So it keeps them nice and short and compact. So if you put them in a garden, they're probably going to get a little bigger. But when you buy mums, if you find, and this one does not have shoots, but if you find there are basal shoots or additional growth coming from the soil, that's a good indication that it may come back year after year after year. Now in the garden, normally this is going to get this big. This has been treated and it's probably been possibly sheared, but they don't shear a lot of them anymore. They usually use a product to keep them nice and compact. And just look how beautiful this one here is. And it's a great variety just coming into bloom. Now I do like some of the yellows. The yellows will attract bumblebees and pollinators. When Dad and I grew pumpkins and gourds, the gourds were tiny. They were like this big, this long. So the other day, I saw some of the neatest gourds ever. And they're sort of giant gourds, where they're 5 times bigger than what I've ever seen before. And look how neat this one is here. We used to grow gourds like this that would be about 4 or 5 inches long, but look at the size of this one. So you might be lucky enough to find these. I have not found a lot of them, but they're giant, and I really like this one. Now keep in mind, this is pumpkins and gourds in the fall, but you can buy seed in the spring and grow some of these right in your own backyard. Some people even put them in their front yard. Now remember, the vines are going to get big, but if you end up with things like this, it's fantastic. This one here is Jarradelle. It's edible. A lot of the squash and pumpkins are edible. Here it is again, right here, a different shape. Then we have and they're heavy, the Cinderella pumpkin. This is a good squash that you can use and make pumpkin pie. When it comes to picking if you're going to buy them, when you need to buy them, you have to look for certain things. You need to turn over and make sure there's no soft spots. If you see a spot like this, press it and make sure that it's not soft. I really like jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. Now they have gone up in price, but when you pick jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, I really like the darker ones. The cinnamon colors that you see here, or darker, are longer lasting. If you see some of these that are more yellow, they're not going to last as long. And I always thump them, make sure that they're solid, but the darker, the better. And these will last for maybe 2 or 3 months. After you've enjoyed your pumpkins and gourds, what do you do with them? Well, you can put them in a compost pile, or you can put them out. They'll feed the deer. Other animals will feed on the seed, but a lot of people just put it in their compost pile. And what you might find is some of them will germinate and grow right in your own compost pile in your backyard. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
Email your garden questions to Viette@viette.com.